Hi, I'm Mike, and today I've got a very quick recipe for you. If you're looking for a pudding to do for a dinner party and you want something that's very quick, then you can do this because you can make it in advance, even the day before. These are chocolate melty puddings and they always go down well. I've even served them to someone that hates chocolate and even they enjoyed them. So here goes. So now we're going to look at the ingredients. I've laid them out in 3 bowls because it keeps it a lot more simple. And in the first bowl we've got 100 grams of chocolate. This should be at least 70% cocoa solids because it's a much richer chocolate, and 115 grams of butter. In the second bowl, and actually in the third bowl together, I've separated 3 eggs. So in the second bowl I've got the whites, and in the third bowl I've got the yolks. I've also got some sugar and some baking powder and some vanilla extract, but I'll show you how much you need as I do each step. So here I've got bowl 1, the chocolate and the butter, and I'm going to put that onto a saucepan of barely simmering water. And a good tip for this is if you're cooking another meal at the time and you've got a pan on the hob, you might as well just put this straight on top. And I'm going to leave that there until it's all melted together. So now I'm moving on to bowl 2, and I've got the egg whites from 3 eggs, which I've separated. It's really important that you do this step before you do the egg yolks, because if you get any egg yolk in the egg whites, and they just won't form peaks. So I'm going to start with a mixer, and I'm just going to turn it on very gently, and I'm going to whisk it until we've got a bit. I'm just going to whisk it until it goes slightly stiff. Tilt it up towards us slightly. And as you can see, it's going all frothy. Really growing in size. So now from this point we're going to add a bit of baking powder, and for this all we want is about a 1/4 teaspoonful in there, and then again back in with the whisk, and we're going to beat it until it's forming some soft peaks. Now we're just going to test for soft peaks, and when I say soft peaks, it's when you lift the whisk out of the mixture whether it leaves the little turrets at the top. But this isn't quite ready, so we're just going to do a bit more whisking. And again we lift up the whisk to see, and we're getting soft peaks. Now at this stage what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tablespoon of caster sugar. Just sprinkle it over the top, and then again we go back in with the whisk and we do it until we get really firm peaks, and the mixture will be really quite solid at that point. And there we go, so we lift it up and you can see that it's a really solid peak there. Eggs really are amazing things when you think what that started off as. So now we move on to bowl 3, and we don't even need to wash up these whisks because we're going to go straight in here. Now I've got 3 egg yolks, and I'm going to put in 60 grams of caster sugar, sprinkle it in, and then we're just going to whisk it up until they're a nice creamy colour. And so there we have it. When I lift the mixture up and drop it back down, you can see it does a slight imprint on the top, and there we have, that is now ready. So let's combine all the ingredients together. And one last ingredient we're going to put into bowl 3 is a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm putting in vanilla extract, and that's very different from essence. Vanilla essence is synthetically made, whereas the extract is from pure vanilla pods, so it's a lot better flavour. So here we have it, we have our 3 bowls all ready to go. We've got bowl 1, 2 and 3, and what I'm going to do now is take the chocolate bowl and add a small bit of the egg white into it and just gently fold. This just loosens the mixture up and makes it easier to pour in the rest of it. And then we're going to go in with the whole lot. Just going to pour it all in. And you want a slight fold here, so you're not actually mixing it, but this is much more gentle for the mixture. And I should say with this mixture it doesn't have any flour in it, so you don't actually need to cook it to get rid of any of the raw taste, so it makes a really good indulgent chocolate sauce. So we're nearly there, and I'm now going to add in the third bowl. And now let's mix it all up, and you just want to keep going until it's all a solid colour and not marbled. So there we have the mixture all ready, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ramekins. This usually fills about 6 ramekins. You can fill them quite full, and but for now I'm just going to do 2. So the oven is set at 180 fan or 200 degrees C for a non-fan oven, and you put them in. I usually put them in for about 10 minutes, but actually it depends how sort of cakey you want them or saucy. If you just put them in for a few minutes, then they will remain as a sauce, whereas if you leave them for 15 minutes, they'll be quite a solid cake. So it's really up to you how you want to serve them. So I'm ready to put these in the oven now, but the key thing with these is you can make them in advance, so you could even do them the day before and store them in the fridge. It's that easy, particularly if you're doing them for a dinner party and you need a bit of time on the day. And they just take 10 minutes, so I'm going to put them in the oven now. Now, as you can see, they've risen nicely, and if I delve into one, you can see that it's all gooey inside. If you want it to be a bit more solid, you can put them in the oven for a bit longer. It depends really what texture you want and what you're going to serve them with. Usually I put them on a plate with some raspberries and then dust them with a bit of icing sugar, and it's really that simple. And so now I'm going to taste it. That is amazing. It's so chocolatey, and honestly, if you have not tried making these, you must do, because they're so expensive when you buy them in shops, and really you can make them for a fraction of the price. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel and leave comments below. Maybe you've got some questions you want to ask as well. But I'll be back again with another recipe very soon.
Thank you.